What's up? This is RealLifeish Friends podcast, episode number 61. This is where the group chat turns into a podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kimberly,
I'm Mila.
and we have a very great show tonight because everything happened. Like, just a lot. Just a lot. A lot was going on.
Life.
Yes. So let's go ahead and just deep dive into it. So, Mila, tell the people what we watched this week.
This week we watched Boy Band Confidential. Think of Boy Band Confidential, the title of it. It is on Investigation Discovery, and it talks about the boy bands of the 90s to early 2000s. You know, when the boy band era came out, when you had NSYNC, you had Backstreet Boys, LML, what was it, LFO or
Mm-hmm.
whoever. But then you also had this particular gentleman by the name of Lou Perriman who started these boy bands, and
Well,
he ran
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Yeah.
Backstreet Boys and Sync. So he was like, I guess, the mastermind behind it, but also to kind of run a little Ponzi scheme in the middle of it or whatever. Uh, so it really just showed like really what people went through or what these individuals went through to be in a band. Uh, it was interesting. The only thing I would say that I probably would have liked a little bit more maybe is of uh, the guy from Boys to Men, maybe kind of telling about his side, but I guess you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, but still maybe I feel like could have told a little bit, about the little trials and tribulations of it. But also too, I think um again it just showed like how Lou had them staying at his house and how he
Mm-hmm.
really just kind of persuaded them, kind of took advantage of them because they were young, they wanted to be in the band. Um, do I think maybe I don't know, he just was a strange bird. Let's say that.
My bad. So the thing that I found so very interesting about Lou, other than the fact that he's no longer here, and I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize why he's no longer here. Um,
Had a heart attack or something in jail or something.
cardiac arrest, yeah. Because I thought he had got in trouble for like the the inappropriate touching and doing other things. That's what I thought that he had went to jail for. I thought I saw the mug shot because of that, but apparently that
No, it
was
was
not the
all
reason why. Yeah,
about the
because of the Ponzi scheme.
finances. Mm-hmm.
But hello, auntie and uncle.
Happy belated. I think I don't know if it was today
Birthday,
or yesterday. Happy
auntie.
birthday, Auntie.
Happy birthday, auntie. So, what I found very interesting is that he was a transportation company that carried blimps. First of all, transportation company becomes a record company. He becomes a manager, and he also made it sure that he was also a member of the board band. Listen,
The fifth or sixth member of the boy band.
baby, listen.
And also, he was part of the directing and like, take your shirts off, pour water on yourself. The girls want to see abs. They want to see it all.
You're welcome, auntie. Yeah, I was like, this man was a menace. And I've heard about him before, and he was a
Mm-hmm.
menace. Now, what I will say, I don't like the fact that they consider New Kids on the Block the first boy band, because if I would think anything would be a boy band, I feel like New Edition paved the way for the boy band, baby.
Because if
But
it
that's
hadn't
just
have
my
been,
own
and they
personal
was all
take on
from,
it.
yeah, they was all from Boston. So really, New Edition paved the way for them.
Exactly. I was like, wait, hold on. You talking about New Kids on the Block? I was like, if anything, are we forgetting? Are we forgetting where we came
Who
from?
paved the way?
Exactly. Direct line, line to old boys to men because of
Mm-hmm.
New Edition as well. Um, when I say, because I knew about Lou. So I was shocked that anybody I was a kid in Alabama and I knew about Lou.
How you know about Lou in Alabama as a kid? Because I didn't
And
know
these
about
people
Lou.
all up in his area and all this stuff, and they don't have a clue because they kept on saying like he that's who discovered like NSYNC, and I think
Mm-hmm.
someone also said like Britney Spears, but apparently he didn't. But I know he does. They did show pictures of him with Britney Spears, so like he was from. This is what I heard allegedly, because he did. So what I heard was that he basically groomed, molested the boys, and that's how he ended up like being over them and all that stuff. And you had to do some strange things in order to be able to get yourself in the boy band.
Hence the guy
Which
that was like, you can be in the band, you can drive me, you ain't got to really audition. And let me pause. I think he was the first making the band on
he
MTV,
would.
and then Titty Bop came along.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
I think that whole ideal, yeah, the making a band ideal came from him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I tell you, I was like, oh, a lot was going on. A lot was
Mm-hmm.
going on. The whole boy band, all for one, they were like, they didn't like the fact that it was diversity because it was two blacks, one white, and then Hispanic. And they were like, now you can go out there and sing, but and I also didn't really appreciate, but I obviously knew this as well. They wanted the appeal of like the Boys to Men, the Jodeci's,
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. They
Yeah.
wanted the soulfulness of that. They wanted the sound of that, but they wanted it to be in white boy form.
Right. Like what was the other little group? 98
98 degree,
degrees.
yeah, saying that they was supposed to be the white Jodeci. The white what? I was like, you was barely the white Backstreet Boys. What are you talking about?
The white new kids on the block. I mean, come
Okay.
on now. The what was the other little folks? I think I love you. The Partridge Family.
Oh.
This
I'm like, how, white Jodeci? And then apparently they were like, yeah, they got what did they say? Something along the lines of I think they met, Devontae and all this stuff. Like they met some of the people of Jodeci, and I'm like, but nothing about y'all gave. Not and to be
goodness.
honest, if we really New Kids on the Block, yes, like most people know who those guys are. Um, but obviously people know Backstreet Boys, people know Boys to Men, people know NSYNC. But if we just gonna keep it a buck, and that's what we gonna do, we just gonna keep it a buck over here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was feeling 98 degrees like that for real. Like, don't get me wrong,
No,
they had popularity, they had some kind of spark or whatever, but like you can't tell me a 98 degree song right now.
and I'm really trying to. I was because I just said she gonna ask that damn question, and I'm sitting here now. I will say this: I can kind of remember a video, but I can't remember the song.
The only thing I know about 98 Degrees is Nick Lachey was in it with just in and was married to Jessica Simpson
Jessica Simpson.
and the Tuna of the Sea. If it wasn't for the reality TV show, I wouldn't know that. I'm telling you, like,
I don't know if
not
I
and it
mean.
could be and listen, Nick Lachey could be talented. LFO, whatever. These
Mhm.
people can be very talented individual, which it didn't seem like you had to really. And don't get me wrong, it did not, based on what they were saying, it didn't seem like you had to have talent because it's like nobody asked you to sing for them other than the one, I guess, when they was making the band. Cause I don't know
That's
if
what
I don't know if Steven, the one that got mad and was like, I don't appreciate, the employee of the transportation record company, whatever.
yes,
Nobody, but he was supposed to make the band.
but he didn't have to audition for the band.
So I don't even know if he can sing.
He didn't. He didn't hum no tune while he was talking.
So not to take anything away from anybody's talent, I'm just saying it didn't seem like talent was something that you had to necessarily have. You had to have an appeal. You had to have a certain criteria that they wanted you to have as it relates to aesthetic purposes
And
and
I guess
personality purposes of the group.
yeah, because now that I think about it, like none of Lou bands that he created had. I mean, All for One wasn't his, was it?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we didn't really like nobody. There was not one um African American in any of his group. Now you might
No,
have
but
had a little
he had a little Hispanic in
little Latina,
oh, what's
the
that
Puerto
one?
Rican.
What's that?
That was
Oh,
Backstreet Boys, the other little boy, Howie or somebody.
no,
He
I'm
was the
talking
one.
about. Oh, okay, but I'm talking about that other guy. He was definitely. There was no question that he was in the part of. He was a person of color.
Who?
Um, Eric, Eric, something Estrada or Eric, whatever.
Oh, that was in Old Town, I
Yes,
think.
that's the group. Yeah, Old Town.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
He was
Again.
definitely a person of color. But yeah, you're right. Most people didn't have to be, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he would you because he was part of a board band and making of the board band and all of this stuff and you just naturally took your shirt off and naturally like let him see him and all this stuff." The things that they were saying, I was like, this is getting to be kind of wild. Now, let me tell you what, Mr. Johnny Wright, baby, listen. When they said, when Backstreet was like, we got a bad deal. I need you to remove NSYNC. I need you to do it. He was like, no. And then he was like, if they was gonna do a stadium tour, we was gonna do a stadium tour, but I was gonna say it first. Like he literally I think honestly, I feel like had that not happened, I don't know if NSYNC would have been as big as they were
Mm.
because Johnny was like, "Baby, I will out petty you if you talking about taking away my money and saying that I can't work with this other group that I've been working with. Then I'm just not going to work with you. I'm going to make sure that I put all the time and effort because otherwise he would have had to divvy out time between the two groups."
Now, which one you think? Because clearly we know that the most popular of the boy bands
Is
of
NSYNC.
is you think
I
would you go NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Most popular is definitely NSYNC,
Okay.
but I do feel like maybe Backstreet Boys vocally definitely
Mm.
did better as a collective and as a group.
Okay.
I feel like Backstreet Boys was probably more so. Boys to Men. When I say that, like you think about
As in
Boys to Men,
harmony.
and yes, and then you think about NSYNC as like a Drew Hill. They out here moving a lot.
Okay, okay, I'm
You see
picking
what
up
I'm
what
saying?
you're laying down.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and both groups are talented,
Yeah.
but they're different kinds of groups. To me, when I think of Backstreet Boys is, like I said, it's more Boys to Men. Like they may hit one or two steps, and that's about it. That's about it. Whereas
They
NSYNC got a whole routine going on. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like New Edition. Dude, come on, that's New Edition right there, baby. That's New Edition. What is y'all thinking?
I'm picking it up. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So that's my interpretation of everything as it relates to them. I feel like, but yeah, I feel like because they pissed Johnny off. But don't get me wrong, they had every right to be mad, because
True.
if you out here, if we selling millions of records and the only thing we got is $30,000 as a group,
They got remember they
I
got
was
more
like,
than what
this is the original Pebbles.
they got more than what New Edition got. They got a 4-wheel and a VCR.
I was like, they are putting. I was shocked that was it a member of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC? I think NSYNC. Remember NSYNC walked away. Was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this, and walked away. And I was also shocked that NSYNC was named, according to this documentary, because I'd never heard of this. Name based on the last letter in your first name.
I don't think I
That's how they
saw
got
that.
the NSYNC.
Nick. Let's see if I remember. Nick.
No, Nick is in Nick
No.
Carter is in Backstreet Boys.
Oh, so in sync. So that was the
Mhm.
numbers of the last letter in their first name or last
Yes.
name.
The
Okay.
last letter in the first name. So Justin, they had Justin, Joey, so that's where the Y was at. JC
Oh.
Chavez, and then they had Jason, so that was the other end.
Ew.
I said, well, that is in, yeah, Nick. I get it confused, but yeah, Nick Carter was in
Okay.
Backstreet
In the
Boys.
Backstreet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's interesting, I guess, because I feel like Lou knew he wasn't the most attractive person it is, and knew he couldn't pull nobody. And his way of getting fame and notoriety would be to start a boy band. Like you say, you
Yeah.
went from transportation to uh boy band groups. However, I will say he did capitalize off being in Orlando because
Yes.
again, you
Nickelodeon,
got Nickelodeon.
Disney.
So
Mhm.
during that time, yeah, that was a popping time to be down there. So I mean, we have to give credit where credit is due because again, he did kind of capitalize off what was going on at that time, the Mickey Mouse Club and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So yeah,
And Kids
um,
Incorporated. Now
yeah.
Lance,
Kids
I think it was Jason
Incorporated.
that left. Jason left, and they replaced him with Lance Bass. But so the name didn't make sense too much anymore. But hey, that's how they originally got it.
But that boy, like, look, I'm getting out of this. I'm going on here to do me a little mortgage real estate. He got on down or whatever.
And
But the pressures, I guess, I mean, and you see the pressures of it too, being in a boy band uh, and again, that was a different time. Think about it. When they were hot, social media was just kind of starting up.
I don't even think social. No, it wasn't no social media. This in the mid '90s.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it was just
What social
look,
media
you
you heard of in the mid-90s?
but
Unless
it
we talking about
was
the AOL chat rooms.
when you had that. I mean, think about it. You saw the foundation being laid, because again, at this point, you had Total Request Live,
Hmm.
where you had to call in. So they were in that era where, okay, you see the people, you take pictures, they was more, I guess, you could be more with the fans, but still, it was still kind of a scary thing to be with them. Because, like, I think the one I saw today was like, shit, Justin almost got his arm pulled out the socket, with fans trying to get hold of him. So again, we was gradually moving into it because you still had them magazines. You still had
Yeah,
Word Up. What is it? Team
yeah.
whatever. I don't know. So you still had them. And so they grew up in entertainment a lot different versus now, with the bands now. Uh
Plus, they were
I
also
think
very young. Some of them was very, very young, like
oh yeah.
12 and 13. They were 15. Some of them were 15 and older, and some of them. I was like, this is a interesting mix of people that you decided to put in a group with all the ages.
Cause was the guy I thought he was always the cutest in Backstreet Boys, the big tall one. What was his name? He looked a little extra grown, like he was 21 already when they
Oh,
started.
okay, the one that had like extra hair or something, like the had his hair that like the one with the
Yeah,
most hair.
he was handsome now. He was real. It was just like he was extra grown.
I think that was
Like,
Kevin. I think that was Kevin, because he's the
yeah,
cousin. They're cousins. Kevin and Brian are cousins. I always
okay.
thought Brian was the cutest. I think Brian is the one that was with the blonde hair. I always thought he was the cutest.
I like the other little tall one. He was
Yeah,
he
the
was the
tall the,
cutest.
the
But I mean,
tallest one was Kevin.
yeah, yeah. Brian looked more like the little church boy, like he'd be teaching Sunday school.
I didn't get that. He had the little curly, like the little blonde curly hair ish.
But it was very. Now I was. I would tell you what was heartbreaking. I guess like what was it? LFO.
LFO,
How
the people, the guys that
LFO? How
died.
to like? Yeah, that was kind of eerie. You know.
Yeah.
Um. So, and I kind of remember like those bands like when they came out because I remember I was working. It was a summer I worked at Disney when I was in college,
Mm.
and I kind of remember them, all down there singing and carrying on. Like, oh, aren't they nice?
Yeah, it's only one that's still alive of the three, and I
But
think that
he's now there with Old Town singing, right?
well, no, I think a couple years ago they did like a hodgepodge, I want to call it. It was like several boy band members that got together and I think like performed or whatever.
Mm. But
But
did
yeah,
you
Brad is the
also
only one
notice?
that's still alive. Brad is the only one that's.
And he ain't with the Old Town people, or like you said, hodgepodge of members. Like 98 Degree, go around there and sing a couple of their songs.
Yeah, I
Then they
think
move
they
on to the next one.
exactly. But I just
Mm.
so Lou was getting 51% already. Then he was the manager. Then he was a member of the group. Like this man, and then that's not why you went to jail. Like apparently you went to jail because you had a Ponzi scheme from 20 years before that. Like, what is you doing with your life? Like, I was shocked.
It's
And
still
then
in,
I was like, and he died. I didn't know any of this. I don't
dead
recall.
and gone.
Yeah. But it's definitely a
I
very
don't.
like I feel like even though it's not Hollywood, I feel like that the things that people go through for fame, because I think it was Joey
Mm-hmm.
that the lady came and was like, "You met me, da da
Oh,
da
with the
da,"
baby.
with the baby.
Joe was
Talking
like, now,
about
man, I
just
remember
so
you.
they can show up, just so they can literally show up to the courthouse with all these things and all this stuff, to get it, because especially back then, like the tabloids would have ate baby. What's that? The Sun, and what's that other
The
one?
Inquirer,
Inquirer. They probably
National
would have ate
Inquirer.
that up, baby. They would have ate that up
Oh,
at that time.
yeah. He was like, yeah, I remember. We had a good time. He was like, damn, I don't remember no baby.
Now I felt bad for Lance's family because he can't grew up in a religious family,
Mm.
and they was like, his parents weren't able to find a church. What in the world? What is
Mm.
going on? Y'all
Because
kicking him
it
out
was
because
that
the son
era again. Think about it. Remember what was the guy name that got killed for being gay?
Matthew Shepard. Matthew Shepard. Yeah.
Matthew Shepard. So that was during that time there. Folks wouldn't welcoming, gay guys into the church, much less they
But
folks.
it was
And he had to
it
kind of
wasn't
hide that.
even him. It wasn't even him.
He had to,
That was
but
like
he had to hide it. You see what I'm saying?
parents of gay Lance Bass not allowed in the church. Or is everything all right? Because it can't be.
Mm. Think about it. Gay Lance could have helped y'all build that church right there. Got that parking lot paved, and y'all have just been nice to his folks right
And
there.
then there was like they went through several churches in, like, I guess, Mississippi, because that's where he's from. And I was like,
I thought it was Kentucky. Who? Oh, I think they
no,
wanted
he
the
was
NSYNC. He
when
was
Lance was in
Mississippi
sync.
because they from
Yeah.
the yeah.
Because when the other guy left, they like kind of called him or whatever. And I don't think he auditioned either.
Which
I
one?
don't think Lance auditioned for real. Because Lance came in after
The other guy left.
the other guy left. And then apparently
Oh
it
yeah,
was
because he knew somebody, right?
Justin and his mama. And he had
Uh-huh.
applied for something else. And I was like, what in the world are we doing over here?
Yeah.
Like, come on, they
What
had
in
to
the
go through
blazing
several churches.
bejesus?
What is going on? I don't know.
I like to know where them church members at now. What y'all think about that now? Because Lance is married now with 2 children, ain't he?
Let me Google. He could be.
I think he is. Maybe wrong, but I feel like he married. Or I
He
could be
probably
thinking about
is.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Well,
Duke
yeah, he's
Hauser.
definitely married. Yeah, Doogie Howser is married. No, he has a spouse. He's been married since
Okay.
2014. Michael Turchin
Okay.
or something like that. So he's been married since 2014, according to Wikipedia. So if
But they
you
ain't got no
blame somebody,
kids.
blame Wikipedia. No, it says they have 2 kids. I'm
Okay.
just saying. I tell the sources. I tell the sources. You don't come on here saying I said I told you where I got it from. Now, is
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia a reliable source? You can't
Not
use
at
it when
all
you was
time.
in college. You couldn't use it, but hey,
You just have to give credit.
for the purposes of this podcast, it's a source that I use to confirm things. We're just gonna leave it at that. Because it's quick.
Well,
It's
watch.
quick.
It's quick, but yeah, watch Boy Band Confidential on Investigation Discovery, and they have quite a few other things that I'm gonna check out. Like, what
Yeah,
is
they
it? Oh
had
God,
Saved by the Bell. Um
yeah, Deaf Hollywood Demons or something.
no, that's what they
Um,
call this one, Hollywood Demons or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what this
Mm-hmm.
one was called. I
Yeah.
know Saved by the Bell was one. I don't remember the other ones.
But they have some good ones on there. I'll let Kim make the selection for next week.
Mm. There's no telling what we'll watch. Actually, no. Let me just ask you this question because I was shocked that a couple people told me they never seen the first one. Have you ever watched Devil Wears Prada?
No.
Oh my gosh! You know they have a new one out.
I know I've been saying they've been on Good Morning
It's
America
Yeah, it's gonna be out May 1st. But if you never watched the first one,
Friday.
I don't know. That might be pointless. And I haven't seen Michael Jackson, and I don't know if I want to see it to be honest. Just gonna say.
I've heard good things about Michael, the movie. Now they did say it kind of stops at a particular time period, like maybe like it 89, 90, and it don't really it didn't go into the controversial stuff
Mm.
with him. But I would like to see it. I mean, because Janet didn't want to be in the movie, didn't want to be portrayed in the movie. Uh, so I think I would like to see it. I'm gonna let it die down a little bit. Hopefully it'll be on Max or something soon. Uh, but I may check it out.
Yeah,
I
we'll
may get the people see what it's giving. They said
I'll
the
figure
guy
something
did a
out.
good job.
Yeah. Well, I figure something out.
Yeah.
Uh, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I didn't, like I said, I didn't know why he went to prison. Well, I didn't know that was the reason why he went to prison, and I definitely didn't know he wasn't alive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so definitely interesting. Now, when it comes to the group chat,
Mm-hmm.
what we're seeing this week, we cannot not discuss the White House Correspondents Dinner.
Is
I
it
have
me?
so many questions that I feel like will never get me an answer. But that's okay because I feel like no one would give me an answer anyway. And I'm going to be okay with it. Now, did you see the clip that I sent you? Now, the clip that I sent is a CBS clip. I did start seeing some other clips. But what I found very interesting is the fact that they literally evacuated JD Vance
The way they
before,
yanked him up, and he
and he stayed on his. You see how he stayed on his feet? Mm-hmm. Rough
you
House and
know
still stayed on his feet, and somehow, like the whole situation, just a lot of things just didn't make sense. I know there was also another clip. I don't know if I sent this to you that was flown around of the guy eating his
eating
steak or
his salad.
potato or whatever or salad or whatever, and he said, according to when I was looking at the Fox News, um, the guy said that the Hilton floor is probably dirty and he was not gonna get he had hygiene to worry about. And he hurt his back and he was not gonna get on the floor and be out here dirty. Like this man, this, this is the thing.
No, and then before you say that, baby girl right there picking up wine off the table.
Listen. And it's very easy to say what you will and won't do when you're not in the situation. Yes, totally agree. However, I would like to think that if somebody was clearly, shooting up the place, which I don't think it was shooting up the place, but I'm just saying, work with me, people. Let's just go to the extreme circumstances that this was going on.
Uh-huh.
The fact that it was a lot of people that didn't even go down to cover themselves.
I'm gonna say 70% of the folks did not see color. 70% of them sat at that table.
Like so I later saw a video where Milani was, she got down as well. I made a whole TikTok about the fact that the lady in the red dress on the CBS video, baby, they pulled JD and she went down. Because I'm thinking this way. Y'all ain't scared enough for me. And if you ain't scared enough for me, like I might get a little razzle dazzled if I hear something on the road. Like I'll be like, "Woo! I don't know what that is. Like, is that a muffler? Like, what is this? Like, car backfiring and all this stuff." So you literally gunshots and all that stuff, and people are like, "Oh my goodness, it was loud." Yeah, it could be loud, but unless you grew up somewhere where you were listening to gunshots all the time, gunshots should be a distinct sound for you. I'm just sorry. Now, I can understand if you went to war and you used to AR-15s and all these other things going off, or you live somewhere that it was a whole bunch of gun violence and all this stuff. Okay, this may not razzle dazzle you, but I'm just saying the average person that I'm assuming is at this correspondence dinner, it's probably no different from me and you. And let me just tell you, I hear a gunshot, I feel like I'm ducking and running. But also, I gotta understand that we Black. So there's just maybe a different level of alertness that we have about ourselves. Because literally the dude that was sitting beside JD Vance. So it was a dude, JD Vance, lady in red, from my recollection. Why are you like this?
That was, I don't care what nobody say. That was no sense of urgency at all.
No sense of danger or anything.
I mean, even the folks with the guns, baby, y'all wasn't jumping the tables like you should have been doing. It was just like they scooting on through the little opening. Let me just say this. And when I looked at it, whatever, all the videos that I looked at on the socials and the media, no sense of urgency. Nobody was scared. They still sitting up there at that table eating and drinking. And then if you know that they done rushed, first of all, JD, you don't move fast enough for me. He could have left that napkin, baby.
He didn't fall because there's a lot that's better than what was going on. And listen. If people feel like things are staged, it is what it is. Because again, I don't know I'm not Secret Service. I'm not CIA. I'm not FBI. I'm not anything like that. However, I would think that the first person you would try to save, if was real situation, would be the person that is in charge, not the second person up, but the person that's in charge. And then if you paid attention to it, this is people. This is people. Or this is the person right here. They had the Secret Service people behind that person. So if you was trying to do something to that person, the Secret Service is behind you. The only person that got in front was Mr. Hurtler. That was with the gun. Cause the other one stayed to the side too. If my memory serves me correct. Because it's been a couple days since I saw the videos. So I say all that, and trust me, and somebody was like, well, he was ducking down. That man did not go down to the ground. That man did not go down to. He
Which
didn't even.
man? JD
That
of
one, no, that other one, that other
45.
one.
He
Yes,
was ducking,
he
baby. They covered him up like he.
and but like they didn't cover him originally.
Mm-mm.
Nobody was in front of him. Nobody pushed a chair and got in front of him. And I'm thinking to myself, because people was like, oh, DEI this, DEI that, Obama, Biden, da da da, DEI, DEI. Okay, let me just say this. This has to be the most incompetent group of people. Baby, we're not looking at education. We're not looking at experience. We're looking at loyalty as a only job requirement to get a job in this cabinet and administration. That
But
is
they
your
said too,
and if you got a little bit of money, you
another money.
don't forget that little bit of money as
Mm-hmm.
well. So none of this thing, I'm like, this has to be the most incompetent group of people that have ever did these jobs, or either some ain't right, or you are like, hey, if he gotta go, he gotta go. One or the other, you can pick, because some
But
ain't
they
right.
all shouldn't have been up there anyway, because as I was listening to something, I guess everybody that was next in line, should the president have gotten hurt, were all in one spot. So there's no common sense there. Yeah, I can't spread folks out, move them here, move them there. Everybody don't need to be in the same spot. But then my question is too, again, where is security? I know the man said he checked into that hotel. But for him to get down there to that ballroom where they was at, you mean tell me ain't no folks just standing up down there to step and repeat, taking pictures and carrying on. And you mean to tell me this man done clean got through, ain't nobody wave no one, ain't nothing said beep, 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 none of that. He just came straight on through.
I was like, I have went through more security going to the Capitol, apparently, than this situation. And also let it be told that, and I ain't researched this on my own, so if it's a lie, it's a lie somebody else told me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Apparently, this man has never showed up first term or second term to any of these dinners, and all of a sudden you want to show up to this particular dinner. People were saying it was some rumbling that shots will be fired prior to shots being
Oh, that's
fired.
what baby girl said. That's
Yes.
what that's
So
what baby girl said.
it's a lot of things that are going on allegedly that makes it seem like okay. And then also I personally don't think it was him, because I think the person is bald headed. But when Stephen Miller, I guess, and his wife were like, one of the screenshots they had of him and his
Where
wife
he
leaving.
gripping her boob and not the pregnancy
Yeah.
belly. Ain't she
Okay.
pregnant?
Yes, and looked like it was like, oh, she looks like he was having her as a shield or whatever. People were saying that person that's in charge was in the back of the curtain looking, and I was like, that person looked like they were more bald headed than anything, even though toupee bald. But I'm just saying, obviously you can tell it stinks your hair. Um, but I'm like, if you really like, if you have that title, why would you do that if it really was that person? Like I said, I don't believe it was, but people were saying that it was. But also, this is my thing. Why are you? I guess to me, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you trying to charge a person with an assassination attempt if, like, how many people was in there? They said it's somewhere close to, like, I think they said it's like close to 2,000 people or whatever. I could be wrong. I'm going to actually Google that. But I say all that to say, who's to say he wasn't trying to hurt somebody else or just being there? Like, I'm like, to me, when I think about an assassination attempt, like that gun went across you. Like, I'm just
Like
saying, like,
you
or
was
either
close
like
by.
they was exactly. So if he's out in the lobby and he's supposedly shooting in the lobby, I don't understand how that ends up being an assassination attempt, but maybe somebody else knows way more than me, and I'm quite sure they do, because I
Hell,
just don't get it.
Wolf Blitzer from CNN said he almost got caught in the crossfire and he was leaving the bathroom. So, I mean, this is my thing here. And I think, again, somebody may have said this on the radio as I was heading to work. This is the third assassination attempt. The third. What president has had 3 assassination attempts?
Well, actually, they said Obama had at least 11 or 12, but um, his DEI people, the qualified people, apparently, and not just loyal people with money, stopped those attempts. The only attempt that I think ever came to like real light
Mm.
was the one where the person tried to get on the lawn or whatever.
Okay. Okay. But
So,
again,
but yeah,
we got 45, 47 and had 3 of them. What do we say? Do we have? Are we concerned with the gun laws? Are we concerned with the target practice?
no, because
I mean, what?
apparently, and I didn't watch this part either, but they said that apparently the first thing that they came out of his mouth was like, "That's why we need a ballroom." Ugh. Like, yeah, apparently they said approximately 2,600 people um go to the correspondence dinner. You know how many people could be your enemy in 2,600 people? I'm just saying, could be somebody enemy.
I mean, you ain't right when you're wrong. You ain't wrong when you're right. Whatever they say. I just feel that this administration is really just of people that don't have good common sense. Let's just call a thing a thing. I mean, it's like stupid shit. It's like they try and deflect
Mm-hmm.
like what's really happening. It's like the first thing you ain't up there thanking God that you done got spared another time. You know. You want to run to the room, briefing room or whatever. You want to hold a conference, and then you want to say we need a ballroom. This is not what we need. What we need, sir, is for you to get you some better security, because after 3 attempts, your security folks is failing you.
But sometimes you need a little DEI in your life.
Well,
So you
clearly
can
they
figure
don't.
so you can figure out so you can have some people that are clearly qualified because
No, they
but
ain't qualified. He got he got qualified people in here. Let me tell you something. The folks where I work at, the security guard, man, they hang out at the Chick-fil-A. They're supposed to be security. Do a better job than they doing down there at the White House. The man, honey, like I said, the folks at the state capitol, the folks anywhere is doing a better job than
and,
what they doing.
and
What they doing is playing with folks' intelligence around here. And then if you ain't been to
that
NAN
part.
Correspondents Dinner and 2 terms since you've been president, because you don't want nobody to make fun of you. You don't want nobody to joke. So you go and get a minimalist. I guess that's gonna predict something or gonna make fire come out of your hand or whatever the case may be. Because you're a sucker and you're a punk and you're emotional. And at this point, you don't want nobody to tell not Nan joke, but much as he talks shit about everybody else and call folks stupid and dumb and this, that, and the third, but you can't take it. And then you want to get your wife to get on here again, talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Why y'all focus on Jimmy Kimmel? Ma'am, you got a whole racist jackass you laying in the bed with her down the hall from.
He's a down the hall.
That's saying all the stuff that he don't want nobody to hear, but he said about everybody else. It's like, girl, I need you to take a look at what's going on in your household and try and stop him from making an ass out of himself. Because at this point, I'm sick. We don't need another assassination attempt because clearly y'all fuckers can't shoot no gun anyway.
And again, they weren't even in the same room.
He in the lobby. He down there by the concierge desk, and here he is 2-3 steps, 2-3 building ballrooms down. So again, like you said, there's 2,000 folks in that room. Why we can't have he tried to assassinate somebody in there? Why y'all want to run to the president?
And again, why did he fall? Answer that question, Mister
He said he didn't
Philip.
fall.
Mister
Didn't that
Mister.
man say he didn't fall?
I don't know, but he looked like he was falling. Let me just put it that way.
First
Maybe
of
he
all,
didn't
because he
actually
old.
fall, but he looked like he was falling. And I tell people this all the time. I measure my presidents based on the fact of White House Down and the Fallen trilogy or whatever, or however many shows it is. I I would like a president, and don't I'm not trying to shame nobody. I'm not trying to what's those people. I'm not trying to be ableism or anything like that. What I'm saying is that you should be able to protect yourself and protect the country. And you should have a minimum criteria. If they have to have a minimum criteria for people that are in the military, I feel like you got to have a minimum criteria for the people that we have also in the White House. Because if anything, push actually come to shove. Because let me tell you this, don't let my size fool you. Because if I had to survive, I know I will be out here doing whatever I need to do. Like I ran from a dog one time, and I did a hurdle onto the porch. I'm telling you, you don't know when your life is truly in danger and you think your life is in danger, you get some magical skills. And none of these people had magical enough skills to get down on the ground. That tells me your life wasn't in danger like that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I believe that shit was a hoax. I don't care what nobody said, because again, you got people, baby, that'll run at a festival quicker than they will run. They ran down there at the correspondence dinner, and we know some shots been fired at some of these places. And baby, them people hauled ass. Did not damn person sit there finish no funnel cake, finish their beer, look for nothing. There was no sense of urgency. You cannot make me believe that this thing here was not something, a scheme that was set up by Todd, baby, for the bullshit.
Okay. Because when I tell you some years back, I went to the classic,
Mm-hmm.
and next thing you know, somebody took off running. I don't know. Somebody said somebody shot a gun. I don't know what happened. But the drove of people that took off running, including myself. And then I went and was like, I need to find my mama umbrella. After I realized, after the situation was calmed down, then I went and I couldn't find it. But I say all that to say, if you feel like you in danger, I just don't see you being like, let me not get my tuxedo dirty.
Let
Let
me finish
me
this steak.
like.
Let me tell you, that steak and
I
that
will
baked
say,
potato baby was cold.
no, I will say this. Clearly, that man had to be hungry also, because if you was real hungry, you like, because think about it this way. This is how I see it. If I'm in this situation, and which I don't plan to be in this situation, but if I'm in this situation and I'm hungry, And more likely than not, they have to interview 2,600 people. I'm one of those 2,600. I don't know which order I'm coming in. Baby, let me go ahead and get some food. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and eat.
But you give me some food in a safe area, in a
No,
safe zone.
I'm saying like after the thing has gotten
Let me tell you something.
cleared.
Out of 2,000 folks, baby, they ain't thinking about your ass, baby. I can tell you that right now. So you might well just head on down there now to the Burger King and get you something or whatever. Call the car to come get you and
You
run you down
they
there.
would have to be locked down though.
Oh well, you can Uber get to the next corner.
They is not gonna let Uber in. They're not gonna let
You
Uber
can leave.
in.
Let me tell you. But let me tell you again, if you in danger, you'll run 12 blocks in some hills. Or you'll take them off and you'll run barefoot. You don't give a good goddamn what's on that ground, baby, because what you trying to get to safety. And you think me, what I'm gonna do is sit there and eat a hard ass roll, finish a salad, a baked potato, or whatever it is, because it just started. So right now you really just at the salad point. They ain't even got to the main course. And then you think I'm gonna pick up a bottle of wine? And much as I like to drink, you think I'm gonna sit up here on my way out? The shots is fine, baby. In the words of Nas, baby, they shooting.
I think at
And
least
they
for
done
her
made us
everything
look.
was clear. I'm positive for her everything clear. Now the man, I don't know if they was necessarily clear at that point, but it looked like the lights were up and everything when she took that started taking that wine.
Again, in the words of Nas, baby, they shooting. Make you look. I mean, I need to be looking and seeing what exit I'm gonna run to, or what table I'm gonna get on. Then I'm gonna make. Have we heard any 911 calls from anybody under a table scared? No, we ain't heard no.
And let
We
me
ain't
just
heard
say
no.
this. I have personally been around the Secret Service before because, I was near a president before.
Girl, you was Habitat for Humanity.
don't, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
You was the Habitat, girl. You you need a new Secret Service now.
It's like a lot of hate that I feel. I'm feeling.
You was at the Habitat for Humanity,
Yeah,
baby, with a man that fell 2 days before.
I don't care. May he rest in peace. But I have seen the Secret Service people and all this stuff. That's why I'm like, I don't think for a second of like
There's
what
no
were they
logic
doing?
behind it.
Like they're like I don't get it. I don't get it
And
and I
you
don't
won't.
understand because there is no way and this person isn't the president anymore. This person was a former president and I saw his Secret Service and like they didn't talk to you, they didn't do anything, like they were there to protect. And again, we are at Habitat for Humanity. Hater.
We ain't got nothing against Jimmy.
But it was a lot of people around and stuff. And and I was like, there's no way that Secret Service would have saved anybody else without trying to save them. And again, this isn't even the current that wasn't even the current president of the United States. And
Right.
I feel like they would have did a much better job. They was also in plain clothes and those other things too. And I think I've been around Secret Service again another time, but I can't remember where. And I know for sure that I've been like to the inauguration. And
Okay.
so I saw the people on the buildings and everything. So that's why I'm like, What's going on? What is wrong with your Secret Service? Because something has
They
to
ain't,
be wrong.
they must not be getting paid like the TSA folks, cause baby, there was not now sense of urgency. They was slow walking. They were
I'm,
slow rolling, cause
and
that what they
then
was.
also, let's just throw this out here. Okay, Mr. They have came up with some names for this man that I will not, because they may be offensive and they may be I don't I won't get into them. But good old Cash Patel was there apparently.
Looking lost, cause he's sitting down there at
And
the
I'm like, where is your gun? Where is your gun? Like, in the words of Nene, where is your scooter? Where is your gun? Like,
he didn't even have no Tasha Mack, baby, pow pow pow. He just sitting there looking.
I'm like, first of all, you over here cowering down with everybody else, but aren't you like the top law enforcement person? Where is your gun?
What was Pete Heggs at? Where was he at?
I, I don't know. But I was just,
You know what? This again. We will never fully understand what happened because the man said they're gonna do a redo in 30 days. Okay. I don't know if anybody should show up in 30 days, but what do I know? Uh this, this man comes with more foolishness again today. I hope you got your new passport because baby, now his picture about to be plastered on that bad boy. And
I
you're going
think
to
it said
carry it for the
limited
next 10
time,
years.
limited time, limited
Mm.
time.
I got mine, baby, last year. I don't want his picture on nothing. I got to travel. Them people was not probably not even let me in if they see that passport. They'll think it's falsified.
Apparently, it's supposed to be a limited time, and it needs to be very limited before I need to renew mine. I'm just saying.
Mm,
But
mm-mm.
yeah, it was just so much that I saw, so many videos that I saw that I'm like, something ain't right. Like the old folks say, something in the milk just ain't clean.
And let me tell you something. And it ain't there. So you know what? Today just Tuesday. Let's see what pops off by the end of the week. He got Prince Charles and that Camilla lady in town. Uh, let's see what kind of foolishness he, talks to them or whatever. And we'll revisit that jackass next week. I'm sorry, that president next week.
So we're gonna talk about Tina Campbell from the
And
good
this gonna be
old
short.
from the good old Mary,
Red,
who
as we used to call her. Me and my cousin used to call her Red. I'm
oh,
fighting for my life here, Tina, Erica. Fighting for
I
my
think her real
life,
name is Tina. Come out,
Erica.
yeah, yeah. I was like, we were talking about Tina. She's talking to Erica.
Fighting for my life.
Then, because I remember the scene. They was just like, just come on, you wait a couple of days and then you tell me some more. You wait another couple of days and you tell me some more. Why are you doing it? Like I was like, and I never really watched Mirror. Just I'm just being real. I didn't really watch it, but
Boy, poor him. You want me to go out here and sing? I can't sing.
apparently someone said allegedly they've been separated for a while, and this was just them finally deciding
He did
to,
it though, right?
yeah, he's the one that he's the one.
This is the thing. I'm gonna tell you like I told another friend. I don't feel sorry for Red. Not one bit. Uh the way she treated the good Mary, the other Mary right now, Erica. Honey had them folks setting up tours and carrying on. And they pushed on Erica on out there to, get her solo career. But when you're a 45, 47 supporter, baby, She
Until you do
crumbled.
right by me, everything you do come.
Mm. And then you knew you knew what this Joker was about. You knew what he did. That man
Yeah.
didn't care about you, sis. He didn't care. And then he probably waited just the right amount of time for them California laws to kick in and he get half of her money.
But I
So
think they've been married for a long time though, right?
they been married. Well, the other one says she been married 25 years, so
Yeah. So I
they
feel like
pushing it on.
Tina being married for a long time.
Well, I don't feel sorry for her because while she right there fighting for her life, baby, clearly her marriage, he wasn't fighting. That man didn't care nothing about you, Red. And now you and I'm holding her. She mad at God. I'm mad at God. I'm mad at God. I'm mad at God. Now
Oh,
she hope.
they was married for 25 years.
Oh, so he waited a good time
So he was
to.
gonna get money anyway. He was gonna get whatever he was gonna get. But they said he got more money than I think he has more money than she does.
Oh, really? Well, she ain't been touring. She ain't put out no music. She ain't put no music out since they been. I'm walking, got to get myself together, cause I got some
Oh
place to go, and I'm praying when. I ain't heard them put out nothing since then.
yeah, I think even okay, he may not make as much money as she or has a than her, but he got money. But I think he
Mm.
has more money than she has
Well, she ain't been out there on the stage.
because he was on,
He was a drummer for somebody, wasn't he?
Tonight Show.
Okay, okay.
And he's a
So
gospel drummer and singer and this, that, and the third.
see, you know what? You know what, Red? May the Lord cover and protect you during this dark season that you in.
Yeah,
Uh, you just one of the many women that done got cheated on.
including Meg
Now,
with
Meg,
Klay.
we need to ride that done for Klay. Don't you? You don't need to get 9 ounces of sleep going forward until you
Be like,
you don't.
may you never shoot a 3-pointer again.
May you never get another contract.
Why did you see? I don't know if I sent this to you, but they was talking about Klay looking like the PBS logo, and they was like,
Yes,
they was like, I'm happy that time out. Now I can go back and talk about how he looks like the PBS logo, and the PBS is responding.
the people said they were going light on him, because he was with Meg. But baby, the people said, baby,
Mm-mm.
everybody riding that dog.
Okay. Except the weird people. There's some weird people out here in the world that's like, that's what she gets. And now there's pictures of Klay and Tori. And like somebody was like, yeah, y'all need to go see if y'all want Klay that bad or if y'all want Tori that bad, go see them. I
You
don't know
know
what
what?
else to tell you.
And if I was Meg, I'd be army grenade hot because this motherfucker done took me round his folk. I'm right here cooking up dinner and shit for them asses. And then he gonna blindside me or I'm gonna find out he cheating. I would go down there, baby, to Louisiana, find me one of them good voodoo doctors or ladies, or one of them. I even watch American Horror Story, the one down there, the Coven down there in New Orleans, and find me some, cause he wouldn't play another day in the NBA. Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
people are like,
Cause
why are
he
you so
know what that girl
invested?
done been through. He know what she
Exactly.
done been through. He know she ain't got a mom and daddy gone. She, family,
Yeah.
friends, all of that stuff. And he played on her.
And in the words of Kate Michelle, what are her song? Never mind, I ain't gonna say what it say. But I don't know why Clay decided to play in her face like that. I don't. And this is the thing. people have their own past, they have their own life. However, I feel like that, especially when you know what she's been going through,
Mm-hmm.
like, even if you ain't no girl's girl and you be out here cheating, because I feel, I don't, they ain't speculated, they ain't said, but I feel like that more than likely somebody probably came to her or something had to have happened. And I just feel like, especially if you came to her, you grimy for that. Because
You
why
know,
is you
people
doing
don't
that to
like to
her?
see some folks happy. That's just the bottom line. Some folks don't want to see nobody happy. Some people just don't know how to be in a committed relationship, and
True.
that's him. Don't you know? Don't know how to do it.
And I
But
didn't know that
again,
he used to date Coco Jones, apparently.
Coco, the little black girl.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
so clearly he gets around.
Yeah.
I
They was like
you
he
know.
been with they was like he been with several baddies. And she's now um Meg the Stallion is no longer gonna be on Moulin Rouge anymore on
Oh, she
Broadway.
left.
At
Mm,
first it said that she was gonna do the last one, May something. I don't know. I don't know.
mm-hmm.
But you know, she has a lot going on. And I feel like when somebody has a lot going on or had a lot going on, and like somebody was saying, this person, lost both of her parents, lost her
Mm-hmm.
grandmama. They kind of welcome him in. The daddy was saying all of this stuff. Apparently, like, um, I guess allegedly he was, started calling her by his last name, doing all of this stuff. That's why I be telling people, because I told somebody this not too long ago. Y'all need to be out here and be honest. If you do not want a relationship with somebody, stop doing relationship stuff with these people. Because
That
as much
part.
as you tell me or tell anybody, oh, I don't want a relationship, I don't want a relationship, but you steady doing everything that people in a relationship doing, you need to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that only is going to cause problems. If you really don't want to be in a relationship, say you don't want to be in a relationship and act like you don't want to be in a relationship.
And
You
don't
don't
waste
buy
my
you don't
time.
buy cars, you don't buy boats, you don't buy none of this stuff. You don't introduce them to the family like that. You don't have them cooking Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, whatever one of them dinners that she was cooking. You don't do stuff like that. And then you know that she has no family.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was the only child.
Yep.
Her parents, been gone. Grandmama gone. Don't be playing her face like that. And
That's
people be
what.
like, oh my goodness, people are so invested. Yes, because we understand what she went through, because much like everybody else, women be going through stuff. Men do
Mm-hmm.
too. I'm not gonna discount y'all either. Men be
Mm-hmm.
going through stuff too. And I remember someone told me, said one time, and I said, this has to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, one of the dumbest things. Women know how to handle breakups and cheating and all this stuff. And no, we just know that we can't fall apart,
So we got to be strong.
because we don't get, nobody's gonna get sympathy, give us sympathy. Just like there's people out here like, oh, she deserved it, she this, she that. And then they posting all kind of memes with all kind of men or whatever, and all, it's just nasty. It's disgusting and it's nasty. And I'm looking at all of this stuff and I'm like, no, people just think women get over stuff. That's why women back in the day used to just be widows.
It be done. All right. They be like, oh, he gone and dead. I ain't fine.
There wasn't no divorce. You were a widow. Take it how you take it.
I
However you
may
feel is however you feel.
right. May Meg find some peace and some happiness, and that she finds the right guy that's gonna take care of her and love her, and she love herself. And But Klay, mm-mm, sorry. Oh, mm-mm. Nope. Every game, wherever he playing at, somebody need to come in there and boo him. Every time he shoot a basketball, when he walk in, they need that boo, boo.
You was
Fuck
hilarious.
you, Clay. That's what the people need to say. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just think it's so. I don't know. It's just the nastiness of it. Like, especially, I'm just gonna assume that most of these people are in the black community. Men versus women is just weird to me. Like, it needs to stop.
Well, you have to realize,
It
and these people don't love they don't love each other. They don't care. That again, people like to see you down, and people like to see you
Yeah,
hurt, and they want to blame everything. And nobody's perfect. And that even goes on down there to
exactly.
Red and Teddy Campbell. Uh, they wasn't perfect.
Mm-mm,
And nobody is. So you
exactly.
don't want nobody marriage to break up. But again, I don't hold no sympathy for her, but hey, now that's Red. Meg, I feel a little sorry for Meg. Meg done been through a whole lot in the
Yeah.
past few years, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been public, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
You
and
don't get to
and
hide that. Like, you know, because we're not celebrities or anything like that, whatever we go through, it's not out there. And then also, nobody's trying to add fuel to the fire and put more things out there. Like, any relationships that we had or whatever, they didn't vanish and it's been
mhm,
other than us talking about it. Nobody else is really discussing it. And
right,
like, I think it's sad that, like, don't get me wrong, baby, we on here discussing it. So I'm not saying that you can't talk about it because, baby, that's what we doing right here. But what I'm saying is that I think a lot of people are not cognitive of everything that's being said to people because you don't. Megan could be at a very low point right now. And
mhm,
if she sees some of the nasty, disgusting things that I've seen on the internet, like, that's horrible. Like, that is gonna screw her up even more. And
and I
then
hope
you,
she has a good support system, around her, because I know
yeah,
she, fell out with the other homegirl. So I hope she has a good, strong, system,
yeah,
good therapist, somebody around her, because it can be hurtful. I just hope that she, you know, take care of yourself, Meg. You get
yeah.
out there, do you some traveling. Go out there, try some new stuff, see what life has. It's a great big world out there, Meg,
And we
and
love you, man.
enjoy.
You can come to our podcast. Hit us up.
And if you want us to hang out with you, hey, call us.
But you can't
We'll
invite your
hang out.
dog to hang out with me. But other than that, yeah. And
I can't
hey,
stand you.
listen, Meg, our email is reallifeishfriends@gmail.com, or you can contact us 615-475-8152. But we got your back, Meg,
We got
because
you.
these people out here just totally wrong and disrespectful. And a lot of people get cheated on. And baby, let them people start cheating back. You'll feel it. Them men out here feel it. And they probably already experiencing it. You never know. Cause just like I said, just because things are not talked about don't mean that it ain't that's not what's going on.
All right.
So
Call
all
us,
these
Meg.
people that's like this, all like saying all this disgusting things about her, like, please stop it. Cause
That part.
y'all are literally showing people the bad example of a human being you are.
Mhm. Very much so. So
But yeah,
call us,
call us, man.
Meg.
We'll hang out. Now I
Call
ain't
us,
got.
Meg.
I got to work on my Megan knees, but I could, I can get a little down. At least I'm willing to touch the floor. I'm just saying. At least I'm doing work. Right now. I'm doing better than what you say. 75% of the people at the White House Correspondents Dinner.
Call us, Meg. We got you, girl.
Yeah, we got you.
We got you.
For episode 61, I want to give flowers to Dr. Chateau Hendricks. She is a former FAMU cheerleader, and also I believe she was Atlanta Falcons cheerleader as well. No,
Mm,
yeah, no, Atlanta's Falcon cheerleading director, and she was just inducted into the National Football Cheerleaders Alumni Association, and I believe she is the first HBC person, um, made history in HBC by being inducted. So that is
wow.
huge. That's a great thing for her. So definitely want to give her flowers. Um, and it's, people are like, oh my goodness, it's sad that, people shouldn't be even having to mention race or HBCU or something like that. No, it's sad that it's 2026 and we still have to do it. That's what's sad.
That boy.
So just want to say that. Did you have anything to say?
Shout out to my nephew Darius that is going to Alabama A&M in the fall. He's going to be in the band. And also, my niece Taryn just crossed Delta.
Oh, yeah, I
Uh,
saw that. Yes.
yeah. So she just crossed, I think it was on Sunday. So I'm a proud auntie.
Okay, then. Yes. So for episode number 61 of Real Life is Friends podcast, where the group chat turns into a podcast, I'm one of your hosts, Kimberly,
Amila.
and peace up, A-Town.
And we are nowhere near 8 times, but we piecing it.
It's an A in Nashville. It's an A in Nashville. I repeat, it's an A in Nashville.